Guys, massive news. There was a $6.4 billion collapse, or maybe rug pull, in the biggest collapse since Terra Luna or FTX. And we're talking about Mantra DAO. And I'm suspicious, my friends, collapsing over 90% instantly and not really coming back yet. They're blaming it on reckless liquidations from a big centralized exchange investor. But there are definitely going to be accusations of a rug pull, like, a team sold a bunch. Now, I don't really know if a big liquidation could actually cause a $6.3 billion project to go down 90 freaking percent, because that's a lot, my friends. That's a lot. And unless that investor has most of the tokens, which would be an insider rug pull, by the ways, and I wouldn't believe the team that they didn't really know about it. I mean, it's just going to be a hard sell. But let's actually look at Mantra DAO. They actually had really promising partnerships. They actually signed one in January of 2025. And they said investment conglomerate DAMAC signed a $1 billion deal to tokenize the investment conglomerate's various assets, which include real estate, data centers, and other physical properties on the Mantra blockchain. Mantra obtained a virtual asset service provider license from Dubai's Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority. So this shows that even if you have the best partnerships, we're talking billion-dollar partnerships, even if you have the licenses, and even if it looks like your team is setting up, it could come crashing down at any time, because that's just how crypto bros play. And of course, the Mantra founders said, Mantra community, we want to assure you that Mantra is fundamentally strong. I don't know if anything's fundamentally strong if you have a multi-billion dollar project that just crashed 90% and basically just wiped out investor holdings. Today's activity was triggered by reckless liquidations, not anything to do with the project. Not really sure how you let how an investor gets that reckless, man. I mean, dang, that is a huge liquidation. One thing we want to be clear on, this was not our team. We are looking into it and shall share more details about what happened as soon as we can. But I mean, there's just way too much leverage going on in the crypto world if this is true. If one big investor on a centralized exchange or an entity was able to crash a token, and they're not the founding team or the founders, and they were just able to crash a token with massive leverage. I mean, if that's true, this is a really good chance to pick Mantra DAO up. Now, I'm not going to say you should pick Mantra DAO up at this point, because I don't know if it was a rug pull or not. And right now, if you buy it 90% down, you are taking a massive risk. It could come out to a massive reward, but you are taking a massive risk. I'm not going to touch it, but if you really want to touch it and if you want to touch it and kind of take your chances, be my guest. I don't recommend these plays, but still, I mean, this is really surprising. And it may not actually be like Luna FTX, because Terra Luna was tied to its stablecoin. I don't think Mantra DAO really is. And FTX was just you basically playing with everyone's money and betting it all. And I don't think that's Mantra DAO either. So this is just a really surprising project collapse that really can't be explained. And I am pretty shocked. This is a fairly well-known project. So let me know if you guys think this was an insider rug pull, like a scam out, or do you actually think a big investor just massively got liquidated on a long, which should not actually be allowed to happen, and there should be actually regulations against that. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.